All right, so this is what the ICD-10 book looks like. This is the front. This is the back. You can see how thick it is. It's very heavy, has a lot of information in it. These are basically what it is every diagnosis code out there is listed in this book. So real quick, it's got two sections to it, really three, but the ones that you need to be familiar with is just the alphabet index, which is the gray section that is basically from here to here, and everything that has the gray ends to it. This is your alphabetic index. And then the tabular list is the back portion of it, and it's based on the 21 chapters. So you can see you have, this is the table of neoplasms, but you have your chapter starting here. Okay, so you have your chapter 1. Let me just go to the beginning of it. And this is basically for chapter 1 is all certain infectious and parasitic diseases. And then it goes on to chapter 2. Which is your neoplasm chapter. Okay, and then it just goes on and on all the way to chapter 21, which are ending at your health status codes. So, and then of course the green section, and I'll just start from the beginning here. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. But the green section basically just gives you illustration to certain types of anatomy of the body. So here we have the gastrointestinal system, giving us illustrations to that. This is giving illustrations to the female reproductive system. Some additional ones. These are the male reproductive system. Here's the brain and the spinal cord. Another illustration, basically the external. And then here's internal to the brain. We have positioning anatomy of the hands and basically just the different views of the hands. And then this is the musculoskeletal system. I'm going in detail here. Sorry, my toes are in the way. So basically, this is just the illustration system. Okay, and it's real helpful for providers when they're not sure exactly what's going on with the patient and they just need to know, internally what is going on here. I'm trying to get the glare out. So an example would be like, okay, the patient has a middle ear infection or middle ear pain. What do we call the location where the pain is coming from? That type of thing. So they use these illustrations just to help them pinpoint what is going on with the patient. Okay. Let me go to the next one here. The next one is just an introduction to the book, basically breaking it down by sections and the chapters. And then we have where we get into the alphabetic index. And this is how we find a code. So earlier you heard me mention hypertension. So let's say that I needed to find the code for hypertension. I would just basically start here and go to the H, and you can find the letter just here at the end of the tabular list. So I'm going to go till I find H, and then I'm going to find hypertension, and I can just kind of whip through that real quick. And hypertension looks like it's going to start right here. Hypertension, hypertensive, okay? Same thing. And then you see how it starts to break it down by the specificness of the code, okay? So in this case, I don't know much more than just the patient has high blood pressure, right? So what I'm going to do is I know that because I don't have too much information, I know that accelerated means that it's high, right? Benign means that it's not something that is new. It's been going on for a while. Okay, so, and then based on no other information, I'm going to start with I-10. But down here, if I had more information, then I would just look for more documented information in the patient's progress note, and then I could select that code based off of that. But because I don't have any other information, I'm going to go ahead and start with I-10. So then I would come to here, the tabular list, and I would look for the code that starts with I. So I would just flip through this real quick. Okay. And here's chapter 9, starts with the I's, and I just want to show you something real quick. If you ever wonder, well, why is it why is it in chapter 9? And the reason why it's in chapter 9 is because chapter 9 starts diseases of the circulatory system. So that has to do with the heart or the blood system, okay? Blood vessels, that type of thing. And as we know, blood pressure is part of the circulatory system. So if I go here to essential or primary hypertension, meaning I just know that I have high blood pressure or my patient has high blood pressure. So you see here it says includes high blood pressure, okay? If I had hypertensive heart disease, meaning it was hypertensive, meaning accelerated or elevated, but also had heart failure, then I would select this code, this I11.0. So chapter 9 is going to have anything listed that has to do with the circulatory system or anything that has to do, sorry for my toe again, anything that has to do with the blood flow of the body, because as you know, the heart pumps the blood and pushes it out to the rest of the body, then causing and creating the circulatory system. Okay, so mostly your billing team is going to have access to these codes. These are almost $300 books, but you might on occasion have to access this book for a doctor to help him find a diagnosis. So we would always start in the alphabet index and start off with just our primary code here. Or excuse me, I don't want to confuse you. We would start off with our initial code based off of what's going on with the patient, and then we would go back to the actual code here and find it, and then read the description to make sure that that is in fact the accurate code. So this is how we would access for ICD-10, but because you guys don't have access to the books, because we're not on campus, you guys will just use the Find a Code website, and I will make sure to list that in the announcement so you guys have access to that. Okay, if you guys have any questions, like I said, make sure you contact me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, ladies. Have a great evening.